Hi, my name is Quanisha, and welcome to my book corner where I talk to you about books or series that I recently read. Today's series or book is on the screen. If you have read it before, continue on with this review. If you have not read it before, please go and read it, girl, and then come on back because I don't want to hear nothing about spoilers, okay? I don't want you to start wanting to tussle because I done said something you ain't read yet, okay? Okay, we have a new series called The Females. Well, The Female, and I forgot who it's by. I've already read book one. I'm in book two. So book one basically was the females in all species, race has gone extinct. Demons, humans, fays, all them people, right? Boom. So they rally up all the females, right? And then auction them off basically. So she was hidden, and basically they found her. They killed the father because the father was now known as a traitor because he was hiding his daughter, and the mother was taken to some facility. So she was bought by three people. She was bought by Wraith King, his incubus, and Fate. I don't know if that's another type of demon or whatever. Anyways, long story short, she's bought by him. Throughout the whole book, I was like, okay, when you gonna hunch on them? But throughout the whole book, she's scared of them. She don't really want to hunch on them. She only wants them to finger her and eat her coochie. Like, can you just get digged down by somebody, please? Long story short, she ends up finding out that the incubus found out the reason why females were going extinct, and it was because of the men. The men were treating the females so badly that it was causing women to not even produce female eggs anymore. They were what was it saying? They were basically repelling all male sperm and only repelling all female sperm or something like that, and only accepting male sperm, something in that range. So they were only producing males. So it was a whole bunch of men and not enough females. And so they had found that I think it probably was an incubus or some sort of demon or whatever. They found that she had 6 kids, 6 girls, and they asked her like how, and they found out it was because the husband treated her so well that she just kept having girl babies. So they found out it was oxytocin that was it was oxytocin. Oxytocin was the reason why she kept having a whole bunch of girls. So now, she finds out that they actually knew about this for like 80 years and they hadn't told anybody else but the Wraiths. And she was pissed, like, you only gonna tell the other demons, and the other demons and Gray, who's the incubus, was like, oh, we were gonna tell the people, but it just flew past us. So anyway, they find out that oxytocin is the reason why she produces a whole bunch of girls. And then she's like, okay, we need to tell people. But then Aziel, he's the king of the race, was like, listen, bitch, we already told King of Invi because we need him to help us with the other demons, because if not, they gonna want to kill us, because this whole time we was holding back from telling them why they wasn't having females, and they gonna be pissed and want to kill us, and that's the only reason why we telling them. And the king of the Envy was basically like, give us 5 years so we could do what we gotta do before you tell other people, right? Boom. She's like, nigga, 5 years, like, the humans are struggling right now, like, they're going through something, and they're like, well, we need them to help us. Meanwhile, she basically she's holding back on her feelings for the other two. The other two name is Silas and Aziel. So Aziel, whatever the fuck his name is, act like he don't want to be bonded to her because she's a human, and then his people is gonna be looking at him like, nigga, you weak, why would you even get with a human? And he acted like he don't want her, but he do want her. So he brought in another demon trying to act like, oh, this is who I want to be bonded to, and he can't even stand that lady.
Gray's father tried to come in and tell Azia, well, Silas, because Azia wasn't there at the time, told Silas, oh, you could take my daughter and I could take my son, and my son and his little human, I could take them back, and you could take my daughter, because it'll be a powerful, more powerful couple. And Silas was like, sir, no. So now I'm on the second book, and Silas finally was like, hey, can you be my girlfriend? And she's smiling and carrying on, and Gray is happy because he's a succubus, and, or not succubus, an incubus, and what's more loving. You feel me? I think AZ is gonna be next. Hopefully this lady just pop her coochie for a real nigga real quick, because I'm tired of hearing about this pet and shit. Like, let him stick it in and suck some dick, do something. I don't want to hear nothing else about this lady getting ate out and fingered. Come on. Damn. Okay, so I'm at 31%. So basically, she finds out, I don't know if I told y'all this, but Charlotte finds out that what's his name? I was about to call him Gary. No, Gray and his people knew how to get the female population back up and running, and he only told Azrael, that's what I'm calling him, Azrael, whatever the fuck his name is. He only told Big A how to get the female population back within his race, so he did just that, and they didn't tell nobody else, right? Boom. So they come up with the idea with Charlotte to tell the King of Envy. They tell the King of Envy, he like, give him 5 years. They like, no, we giving you a year, or we gonna move on to the shifters. He was like, nah, fuck that shit. The shifters can't help you like I can help you, right? So it's one of the girls, Shay, okay? She is a part of Envy species or clan or whatever the fuck. She comes back to Charlotte like, hey girl, I can't talk to Big A, but I can talk to you, basically. And the King of Envy was lying. He ain't trying to help y'all. If anything, he's trying to get into cahoots with somebody, with the ogres, right? And Charlotte like, well, I thought that my mom, I thought another species or another clan was cool with the ogres, so that's not true. And Shay's like, no girl, the ogres done hunched on illegally and immorally, if y'all get what I'm saying, with one of that other clan's honey child. So female daughters, basically female daughters, and so they don't fuck with the ogres no more. So she like, I don't know if I believe you. Then Shay came back and was like, hey girl, did you tell Big A about what I said? And she's like, why should I tell him? Why you can't tell him? She's like, because he's not gonna listen to me. And then she was like, okay, but what you want me to do? Like, hello? And she's like, well, I got some more information. Like, he's gonna go up against Big A, basically. And the other guys don't really like Shay, because Shay tried to get bonded with Big A and the rest of them, and they've all hunched on Shay before, except for Big A, because Big A is still virgin. And basically, you know, none of them like Shay. And so when they smelled Shay, they told Charlotte she needs to stay away from Shay, because Shay's going to try to off her ass, right? Now, I honestly wouldn't necessarily believe anything Shay is saying as well, because Shay's trying to take your place, Charlotte. But also, you should somewhat kind of look into what she's saying, but not by yourself. You get what I'm saying? And when they keep telling you to stay away from this heifer and you not listening because she don't try to off you, I mean, you even felt that yourself when you was in her presence. You know, that lady does not like you, and all of a sudden she's trying to help you. Talk about she's a girl's girl. I don't know about all of that, because this same girl's girl was looking at you like, I got your man and you can't do nothing about it type of situation, where she really didn't have him. But that's neither here nor there. So long for the story short, now and while this is going on, she starts messing around, you know, because her and Gray have been, you know, together forever. Basically, that's her boyfriend now, that's her man. So basically Silas was like, well, you my girl too, like I want to be with you too. So now they all three of them sleep in the same bed together. They hunch on each other, but not like fuck on her or fuck each other, because they not into that, or Silas is not into that. But I know Gray would very much so be into that. So anyways, she finally tells, he says, you know what, she says she want to get hunched on. Basically, she tired of the fingering, she want to get hunched on. And they was like and then she tried to put Silas in, but he was too big, and so they's like, okay, we gonna use a dildo on you. So they use a dildo on her. And they've been using the dildo on her ever since, because she's still too small for them apparently. All it, and if you could make your own lube, like, wouldn't y'all be able to make something happen, some sort of juice happen, that you'll be able to help a girl relax her walls or something? That's just me thinking that, because this is fantasy, you know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at in the book. They don't even, and then after, Shay had to get going because they already don't want her around Charlotte. They're mad at Charlotte because they told her, you keep talking to this heifer by yourself, and we keep telling you this lady wants to off you. What you don't understand, bitch? And she over here, I'm sorry. So now both her men's is mad at her because, bitch, you're not listening. And he talk about, I love you and I want to have children with you, and I can't do that if you dead. And I said, you know what? He ain't wrong. Get it the fuck together. And she over here just thinking she run shit, and it's just like, can we just get to the part where she start, because you already sucking both men off, so can we get to the part where they start breaking it back in, because I really don't care about the rest of this stuff. And as a big A, he needs some coochie too. So can we get to the part where you give him coochie, you give Sides coochie, and you give Gray coochie? Because at the end of the day, y'all trying to have some type of some conflict, and this is just not giving a conflict that I really care for. Are y'all gonna help the humans or not? Period. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if Gray, Silas, or Big A really don't really care for her. She's just there for the time being, and when they find people that they really like, then they'll like replace her. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Let me go get my cookie out the oven. Charlotte's annoying. Yeah, she's very much annoying. First she was scared of everything. Now she's mean about everything. She has a fucking comment about everything. Everything is offending her, like she's a teenager. Everything Big A says, he's saying I'm baggage. Girl, shut the fuck up. And then you telling these men how to run their shit. You just got there. Your ass used to be in the cubby hole for protection all times of the day, listening to your father prance your mama around like she was high commodity, and you over here telling these people how to run their shit and how they should interact with people they've known for thousands of years. Don't piss me off. So Charlotte decides that she's going to speak to Shay, because she trusts Shay and she believes what Shay says, right? Not listening. She decides, Shay ends up taking her to Maman. Maman is the queen of, I forgot what the fuck she was the queen of. Ends up taking her to Maman. Maman is acting like, oh my God, thank you for the help. She ends up spilling all the beans to Maman. And Maman's like, oh bitch, so this is why. This is crazy. This is why we not having females, and they hid this from us for 50 years. Oh, hell no. So she's taking Charlotte on a tour. She took her to the shifters. The shifters is getting a little touchy when he is a mated male. Showed her to the elves. Charlotte ends up overhearing Mama talking to the elves, and she basically like, we gotta send Charlotte over there to the ogres so they don't act up. And the elf was like, how we over here trying to have a female empowerment type of situation, and you going to send a female over there to be raped? And she's like, well, it has to happen. Basically, one to save thousand. You gotta what's the saying? you have to sacrifice one to free thousands or save thousands or something like that. That's basically what she said to that lady. So then Rock, who just so happens to be her shadow person, whatever the fuck, he's like, bitch, we gotta get the fuck up out of here. So we need to go back home. So instead of her ass saying, you know what, you right, let me go back home to my men, she's over here thinking, because them people just lied to her and told her, oh, they off Shay because Shay helped you. No, they off Shay because they knew Shay was a liar, and Shay was trying to lie on you when they called her, and she tried to say that you was the one that reached out to her and asked her for help and told her to take you to mama, when that's not true. And so now you tell him, you know what, don't take me back there because I'm scared they're going to off me. So take me over here to the shifters that you don't know and one that felt you up under the table. Does that make sense to any of y'all? It don't make no sense to you, right? Because it don't make no goddamn sense. Just dumb. Damn. So she's with the shifters. And remember I told you how the shifter king was being a little bit too touchy. Well, she finally meets the wife. First of all, she meets the kids. The kids are very nice. His daughter teaches her how to hunt and how to fight. Very nice. The son was nice. Now back to the father, the king, and his wife. His wife is half incubus. Wife comes on to her, brings the husband in. So she starts kissing the wife. He starts fingering her. He ends up nutting and basically takes some of his cum and is fingering her with the cum on his fingers. She finally comes to her good mind, you know, that the good Lord giveth her, and she realizes what the fuck. He realizes what the fuck just happened. So she runs away. First of all, his wife is saying, you know, my apologies. She realizes and runs away. Just for Gray's father and somebody else to find her running in the woods to get back to her house. Pulls her from the shifters back to wherever they live, right? She ends up almost getting raped. And so she ends up killing Gray's father, which is the king of lust, by the way. She ends up killing his father, or offing his father, excuse me. She ends up offering his father and covering herself with blood so that the lasting feeling of lust that he was pushing onto her would like get pulled out of her system. And now it's back on these three idiots. I just feel like all of this wouldn't have happened if they would have if she would have stayed her ass with the men's, but also if they would have just told everybody instead of trying to just tell a couple of people, because they were scared that they would start an all-out war, which it should have, because y'all was playing. But that's neither here nor there. So Charlotte ends up hunching on Big A. The Big A loses his virginity to Charlotte because he ends up smelling the shifter on her, and she had everybody thinking that her and the shifter and his wife hunt, but really that's not what happened. I told y'all in the last clip what happened was basically Emily was fingering her while jerking off the husband in between Charlotte's legs, and the husband ended up coming, and she ended up in the cum ended up getting into her coochie area, okay? And when they found her in lust, she smelled like the shifter, and they was like, oh bitch, you cheated on us, which, and you did cheat, okay girl? So she's like, I'm sorry that I cheated on y'all, like, can y'all forgive me? First of all, bitch, the way you've been acting, baby, you better be happy they even want to be in your, you know, presence. But anyways, she's also now bonded with Big A because she marked him. Silas already told her, listen girl, I don't think I could ever be with you, because now all I can see is that man. Like, you smelled straight up like him and he smelled like you. Like, baby, I just, every single time I look at you, all I see is him, and I don't think I ever will be able to see you differently, Miss Girl. So you and I could coexist, but I can't ever be with you. I'm sorry. And she's like, oh, he has to forgive me. He has to forgive me sooner or later. Girl, you can't push these people to forgive you. You cheated on them. Do you know how you act the same fucking way? You probably wouldn't even want to look at these motherfuckers if they cheated on your ass. Better be happy Big A wants your ass now. And the only reason why he wants you is because he said, bitch, you ain't finna be walking around here smelling like no other nigga but me. Period. And Gray don't want to talk to you either. Because Silas is his boo thing. You know, he been sucking Silas off now since you wanted them to be buddy buddy. Now they really buddy buddy and they both ain't messing with your ass. And you over here in confusion. Girl. Okay, I'm finished with book 2. Big A ends up hunching on Gray. Somehow, somewhere, they end up gaining the shifter's trust. However, Mama, who is the queen of greed, ends up after Charlie kills. Sorry, that's my cat in the back of his damn litter. After Charlie ends up killing the king of lust, his daughter comes into power, and she ends up getting allied with the queen of greed, who tried to off Charlie, and the elves, and they're getting an army to come up against Wrath, which is Big A and his peoples. Mind you, Big A is saying they ain't got money like that because they've been spending it on Charlie. But what exactly? Because I mean, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck they spending on Miss Girl, because it's not really given that they buying her a lot. But that's neither here nor there. So now they have to figure out how they going to take down Mama and the elves and Valentine. And then Silas is telling Miss Girl, don't open your mouth and say you killed that nigga, okay? As far as anybody needs to know, you did not kill him, okay? Big A did. If anybody asks, it was Big A. It wasn't you. It was Big A Beach. Period. Now we on book 3. Yeah, remember how I said I can't stand Charlie? Yeah, I can't stand this hoe. Can't stand her at all, because they told your ass to not go anywhere. You decide to go boop and go get Asma's body. You shouldn't even have gone and get that motherfucker in the first fucking place, because this nigga Gray, I was about to call him Gary again. This nigga Gray can't even take all the power in because it wasn't meant for him. But that's neither here nor there. And now you over here talking about you guys don't put me in the plan. For what? What are you helpful with? Nothing but getting fingered. That's all you're helpful for, is sucking and fucking. You're not helpful with doing anything else. Any other plan you're not helpful with. You want to be helpful in shit you're never helpful with. You over here talking about Kato's a good man. Kato and his wife took advantage of you, and you don't even want to believe that. It's what it was. She took advantage of you. She led you where she needs you to go, and you went right with it. And then you tell these men, oh, you need to put my please don't piss me off. And then y'all just be feeding into her fucking delusion. Oh my gosh. 2 more books. I done found another goddamn series that's gonna be a hard to finish series. Oh my gosh. Y'all, I'm only on 21% on this damn 3rd book. And I cannot stand Charlie. Like, I really cannot stand this lady. She wants Silas to forgive her for cheating, like Gray did. So quick and easy. Talk about, basically you wish this man would get over it, and you wish these people would just do what the fuck you told them to do. Is this what y'all think women really are like, this is what is given, that Envy is really a man and this happened to him, and he's writing a book off the type of woman he had in his life. Could have been his mama, his girlfriend, or his sister, one of the three. And this heifer I just do not care for. I do not like this lady. Like, for real, I do not like this lady at all. She getting on my fucking nerves, and then they got the nerve to get her pregnant. Oh my god. Please. So Charlie loses the baby, and that was sad. While she's on the shifter's land, and she starts feeling cramps, and Rock is like, girl, is you good? Is you cool? And she's like, nah, I'm okay. Gray told me that it's normal for pregnancies to sometimes feel cramps. And that could mean like your womb is growing. But anyways, she's like, nah, I'm okay, it's cool. And so right when she says that, there's an attack on the shifterland because the old alpha brother is married to Mama, and Mama only calls him when she wants to have babies by him. Remember, Mama is the queen of greed, and the queen of greed is trying to take over Wrath's realm, and also she claims it's for females, but I feel like it's not for females. She just want to take shit over. But anyways, so there's an attack because the old shifter's alpha's brother doesn't like that she's on shifter land. So he was trying to offer, obviously. But whilst this is going on, she's already going through the process of miscarrying. So then they get her to the new alpha's house, and her bestie Emily done got her leg all mangled up because of the whole situation that was going on. And her friend Rock, who was a shadow, remember I told you he was a shadow, and he was her teacher. He's now in solid form because of this whole situation they had to do in order for Gray to take over Lust from Valentine. So he's now in solid form, and he's like, girl, you smell wrong, like something is off. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about, but she knows, right? So she goes and sits down in the toilet, and he's like, I gotta call Gray. So he calls Gray, and he tells him like, girl, you need to get your ass over here because something ain't right. So Gray comes over, and he smells her stomach and is like, okay. Like, he doesn't say anything to her because she knows already, but she's asking him to like validate, like, is the baby okay? Is the baby okay? And he's basically like, maybe the baby wasn't meant to be. And she starts crying. And so Gray goes and gets her mother from a facility, even though they didn't want to get the mother because they felt like it would put too much a target on the mom's back. But yeah, it's sad. It is sad. I feel bad for her. However, I still don't like this lady, but I do feel bad that she had to go through that, because she was just now really understanding that she was about to be somebody's mother. Even though it was early on in the pregnancy, I still feel bad for her. You feel me? But yeah, child. Sorry to baby E. Okay, so I don't know if I told y'all, but I finished the third book. She did miscarry, but she ended up getting pregnant a little bit after that with twins. One was Gray's and the other one was Silas. And then in the epilogue, she had another baby, and that baby was by Big A. And some of the women that they had were some of the females, but really the women from different realms that they were able to rescue had then decided that they were okay with getting married now. When they first rescued them, like 80% of the women wanted to sterilize themselves because they went through horrors and no longer wanted to be baby makers. But I'm guessing once they've started living life differently than what the fuck they were living, after they were rescued, they decided, okay, let me go ahead and marry somebody that actually loves me and want to take care of me. Yeah, what's her face? Queen of Greed. She sat her ass down because her husband ended up dying. I don't know if I told y'all that. But yeah, he ended up dying, so she went, and now she off her rocker, and nobody takes her serious anymore. The L's decided they was gonna help Big A in their cause. Gray has been doing great with taking over Lust. He's been a great leader. Charlotte was still, is her name Charlotte? Charlotte, whatever the fuck, still got on my motherfucking nerves. But it ended cute. Very grateful. The next book is going to be about Chev, who is the new bear shifter alpha. Okay, alpha. So I'm gonna read that today. I got a doctor's appointment today, but I'm gonna read that. But anyways, that's the next book. That's book 4. And he's gonna be somebody that was one of the rescued women, and that's gonna be drawn out. And you know how it's gonna go, especially if she was newly rescued. She ain't gonna want to have nothing to do with men, and then we're gonna have to wait until 3 books in before she gives up the cookie. Like, damn, Charlie. Miss Envy girl, and I found out Envy was actually a girl, not a man. That's probably not even her real name. If it is her real name, it's cute. But either way, Miss Girl, I'm gonna need you to stop writing and need you drawing out books, okay? Have these bitches pop the pussy, okay? We've moved on from the, oh, they have to draw it out. No, don't let her open the cookie. Don't let her get a cookie in the first book. We're over that now. Okay, you can still keep us interested and have her bust that pussy open for a real nigga. Okay. Anyways, moving on to the 4th book. Okay, so I'm only 3% in Chev's Mate. This is the 4th book, and I can already tell how this is gonna go, and it's going to draw the fuck out. The female main character name is, oh shit, I forgot. Hold on. Vanessa. Now, Vanessa used to be owned by a group of ogres, and she's a nymph, and she has curves and all that good shit. I can already tell that because she's already been through something so traumatic, she's not going to really want to give Chev any play. She's already saying, right, that Chev isn't her type. She wants more of a twiggy man. She doesn't want a man that she feels, what's the word? She doesn't want a man that she feels threatened by. You know, because she used to be hunched on by ogres. So she don't want no big, beefy man. She want a small, twiggy man that if he try to try some shit, she could punch him in his face and he down for the count. That's what it's giving. So I could already tell that once Chev sniffs her out, finds out that's his mate, it's going to be rappy. He's going to want to be up on her ass, and she's not going to want nothing to do with him. But it's going to she's going to slowly turn and start liking him. And then she's finally going to bust that for real, okay? And that's going to be the book. I can feel it. And they're going to have to work through her trauma. And she's going to have to work through that PTSD because she's definitely going to have it. And this is what the book going to be about. I could just tell already. I might be wrong, but I could just tell. Okay, so I'm not going to hold you this 4th book. I'm speeding past. I done sped all the way up to fucking 60%. This girl, from what I did read, because I skimmed through the rest of it before I get here, she was reading basically interviews and basically on social media, anything on social media that said anything about Chev, she was reading about, and people was going in on him talking about how he was nasty and a disgusting man for how he was treating his mate, which none of it was true. Come to find out, they find out that Miss Vanessa girl is his mate, and start going him about how he was treating her and yada yada yada, and how she got her job at the facility because she hunted on him. So that's what's going on now. Miss Vanessa girl, remember I told you, she was once upon a time in Insta facility, and he talked about you my mate, and she said, nigga, no, and sent him on by his way. And then he was barred from even coming near the facility or 100 miles in this area type of biz, right? I think it was 10 miles. Wherever the damn case, he was barred from coming, right? And she didn't want nothing to do with him, and she was helping with the facility, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. I just skimmed through it because honestly and truthfully, I ain't got all day. And 60% is when she finally starts saying, you know what? I appreciate you. I like you a lot. Do you want me to cook you something to eat? Now, will she bust it open for a real nigga in this book? I doubt it. We shall see. Let me get through the rest of this book. Okay, I lied. I'm not going to be able to finish this last one. I'm sorry, but it's getting kind of boring. I think the first 3 books pissed me off a little bit too much. And in this one, Vanessa girl, I love you and all that good shit. Yeah, I don't know if I'm not really interested in reading this last one. I'm not gonna hold you. Yeah.